Hey, I'm Nikida, co-founder of Bramework and pro blogger. Here's my story on how I went from zero to $10,000 per month with my blog. I hope you enjoy. It kind of came by accident. I was in the world of just being stressed out with being a pharmacist, just that whole day to day, and I needed an outlet. I knew I wanted to get back into writing, but I didn't know anything that I could write about naturally. And that's when I got into thinking about, well, I like theme parks, so let's just try this. That's when I looked up how to start a blog on YouTube and I watched somebody's video. They gave me the step-by-step guide and I started Theme Park Hipster. I just needed something to take my mind off the day-to-day. And it was, a very stressful type of job. I worked in a hospital as a clinical pharmacist. So it was, patients would be in like really dire need and you have to kind of be in that space of, somebody's life is in your hands. So I just needed to have an outlet that was totally away from that. I didn't even know you could make money with the blog. I started it as my own personal kind of diary. I would write in my notebook and then I would write it on the computer after I wrote it in my notebook. So my notebook has like my first draft of the blog posts. I would write about, it was so embarrassing. It would be mushy stuff like, oh, why Disney World makes me so happy, why Walt Disney's work can inspire us to be courageous, like more so like Philly type stuff instead of actual things that can help people with their vacation. Around 2016, end of 2016, probably early 2017, I was like, I have to get some kind of traffic because by that time it's been 4 years in, and I really want to do this. I just don't know how. So I heard people in the blogging world talking about Pinterest, and they were saying, oh, Pinterest can bring you a lot of traffic to your website. And I was like, okay. So I found someone's course on Udemy about how to grow your Pinterest. And that's when stuff started to change because she started helping me understand you have to first look at what people are searching for. And I wasn't putting it together with Google. I was just thinking, okay, if somebody's looking for this on Pinterest, then I'll create an article around it. And then I would pin it and Pinterest would send traffic to my website. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to do this again. It was such a long process, but I would type Disney World. So for example, and I would do this for every theme park, but I'll start with Disney World and then I go A. And I see everything somebody asked for Disney World that started with A. And I did that all the way to the letter Z. And I like wrote it down in my notebook because Pinterest at the time didn't have ways you could like export keywords. So I did it all. It took me about a week to do that and like another, like Universal and other theme parks. And then I just started seeing like what I could write about. I would go through and I would just start writing articles. I know the first one that really hit was Disney, The Magic Kingdom for Adults. I did something different that I never did. When I typed it in, I didn't see an article, but I started seeing Google snippets. So I made sure in my article, I started answering all those Google snippets in my blog post. And it like took off like so fast because my site, I never had any kind of traffic, any kind of anything. So to see it just actually work, I was like, man, this is the formula. But I still struggled a little bit after that. But now I knew that it was possible. So I just kept trying to hit traffic goals. So my whole process of thinking at that time was traffic goals because I still didn't understand how I was going to make money with a blog about theme parks. I probably started hitting 1,000 sessions a month traffic wise. Okay. So instead of like a couple of hundred, I hit 1,000 and that was like a big deal for me. So 2018 was when things started to really change. So the Pinterest course jump started a whole lot because I started seeing the potential. And since I knew that I didn't have enough traffic for any kind of ad people, I was like, okay, how can I get really good at affiliate marketing? And I think towards the end of 2017, early 2018, I took a course called affiliate marketing. It was from a blogger who owns the blog Making Sense of Sense. Her blog was the one that made me really realize you can actually monetize your blog in a very big way. I saw her numbers. So she was bringing in 6 figures a month through her blog. And so she made me realize you can really do this. You can make 6 figures a month. You can make more than what you're thinking. Because me being a pharmacist, I just had like that. Well, you had to have a certain type of job to make certain revenue. I was taking the Blog Millionaire course. It was incredible. It told me how to basically start a blog from start to finish, because I never knew how to do it from start to finish. I just knew how to set it up on WordPress from that video, but I never knew how to, all the steps, the day-to-day activity as a blogger. I took his course, but then I hit a roadblock, and I emailed him and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, it was one of them, I'm done with this. And he emailed me, he's like, it's okay, what's your traffic? He was very calm. He was like, you can do it, just, he was like, just work on your keywords, make the best blog post. You're gonna get there, and then get on an ad network and get and look into getting sponsorships, like people to sponsor you. That's what I was talking about. Eventually people, bloggers evolve into like getting sponsorships, which evolve into brand ambassadorships. So I was like, okay. And I had another sense of like, I can do this confidence. So I started doing that. I found someone who specialized in teaching you how to get sponsorships that lead to brand ambassadorships. And then she told me, she's like, your traffic is going up. Because after I had that talk with him, I started, I felt more confident in my writing. And she was like, there's a company called Mediavine, and all you need is 25,000 sessions, and you can get on there, and you'll have some ads, you'll have some kind of income. And I was like, oh, really? And this was September of 2018. And so I just went in on all my articles. I probably got it up to about 2 to 3 additional articles per week. So all I saw was that 25,000 sessions, like that goal. Now I had something to work towards. And I worked from September 2018, and then I hit it in the end of March of 2019. I saw the possibilities. I saw that you could scale, you could increase your income if you scale properly. And I realized that I couldn't do it by myself, because what happened during this time with 2019, the summer, I heard at Mediavine, they give you a lot of tips. Like, their whole ecosystem is to help you be a better blogger, which helps you create better content, which helps you create increased traffic, increase exposure, increase money. So one of the things they said was to not throw away your old articles, but to start going back through and updating your articles to make them the best, now that you know how to write articles well. And so I started doing that. But then around July, I got kind of burnt out with that process, because I was going fast. Because once you see the money, you're like, I'm going to work really hard to make it go up. And then I realized, after doing so many article updates, that there was a formula of how you write a blog post. It could go for any type of article you want to do online, in news space, or if you want to do it in like the long form informational space. And then that's when I started talking to Andy, like, man, I wish there was something that could like spit you out basically everything you need, because it's a standard formula. You just got to tell the system, this is how the formula is. I didn't know how to explain it. That's when we started, the early concepts of Bramework started to come around. I didn't know how it was going to happen, because it was just, AI was just not even like that at that time. I kept updating old articles, because now I knew the framework of how to do a blog post, because it finally hit me that day. Like that time of updating all them articles back to back, I was like, oh, there's a blueprint. There's like a framework. And so while I was updating, I had a lady pitch me that wanted to write. And I was always hesitant about getting writers, because I always felt like, I don't know if they're going to do it right. So she came on, and she was an expert in Disney, and she got access to the media events at Disney. So I was like, well, she knows, she's an expert in Disney. I don't have to, she knows the slang that people use in that world. So I had her write. And then when I saw her article, I felt so relieved. So like I was saying, I was about to hit the 5K mark in March of 2020. And I just saw like, oh, I was like, 2020 is going to be the year I'm going to be able to leave my job. Yeah, COVID hit, and I've never seen such a drop in rev. Like, basically, you're going up a mountain and they just fall off a cliff. That was the next day. And so it scared me. It made me like, wow, you're never going to be able to leave pharmacy. you're never going to be able to do this because this could just happen and everything is taken away. But I still kept working on it. I still paid writers because at this time I was able to get another writer. I just paid them with the money I made from pharmacy. And so I just kept paying them all throughout 2020 with, the money that we got for our household. We just set a budget. They were doing 2 a piece per month, and I was doing 1 and updating old articles. So I'm always updating articles. So, but as far as new content, probably about 5 new pieces a month. I just wanted them to have something consistent. So I knew I could pay for them to put 2 articles out. Around the fall of 2020, Orlando, we kind of started opening back up around May of 2020, but no one was still coming. And at that time, if you wrote anything if you mentioned the word COVID in your blog posts, advertisers didn't want to be next to it. I couldn't write the stuff I wanted to write because my blog was still small compared to the other Disney sites. So they could write about it because they had more authority. So I just stuck with travel planning guides, and I just kept going through the keyword list I had. And as the fall hit, when people were coming to some of the festivals they have in the fall and holidays, people were getting a little bit more comfortable. And that's when the traffic started to go up again. I started getting really, really good with keyword research. And what I started realizing is in the Brandon Gailey blog course, he would kind of help you figure out how to trim your keyword list. For small sites, you were picking all the low-hanging fruit. And then he taught once you built your authority, then that's when you would go for the more competitive keywords. But at first, you write as many articles as you can with the ones that had no competition, but everybody was needing that. But the people needed that answer, and you didn't have to worry about someone coming to take your spot as long as you wrote a very good article out the gate. So I just focused on all those kind of keywords. And then the site changed, it turned around. And that carried me through 2021 because I was able to take advantage of the spring break traffic, which went into the summer traffic, which it went into the fall, Halloween, early Christmas holiday traffic. And then I was able to use those same kind of keyword strategies to help me sustain during the holidays. Because what happens in the theme park world is most of the time your December traffic goes down. But because I knew, I was like, okay, well, I can't really get money off of the, my standard evergreen content. I'll just focus on a lot of holiday content for the people who were here or were looking for gift items for Disney and theme park fans. So that's what got me through 2021. And then as with anything, each year, it continues to grow if you keep improving and setting the foundation. And so that's what brought me into 2022. I just kept repeating the process. Oh, and then at the end of 2021, September 2021 was when I did a case study website to see if I could repeat the same process with another website. And that's when I started the Florida Hipster blog, where I just focus on Florida travels, my love for the state because I was born and raised here, and sharing it to everyone so that they can see that it's not just about theme parks and that's it, Disney. And I started in 2021, and I was able to take it from 0 September, and then it hit 50K in July of 2022, 50,000 sessions a month. Bramework is so incredible. And I always try to let Andy know, this is an incredible tool. And because for me, when I go on there and I can give Brainwork a keyword I'm thinking about, and it's giving me so many ideas from the outline of, did you think about this? Did you think about this? And all I have to do is just go fill in the blanks. And I know having an AI writer is great for people, but for me, I still like to write. And I like to, when I'm stuck, use Brainwork to kind of help me trigger something that I could write about. I'm like, oh, AI, that was good, but I'm gonna make it this way. So I just love that it allows you to have so much flexibility. You're not gonna grow if you don't help people. So I would tell, and this is what I tell anybody who asks me about starting a blog. Help the people first. Find a really good blogging course to help you just get started and understand the business of blogging, because it is a business. Understand how to set up your blog properly. do great keyword research, and be the best blog post writer you can be.